Hi, Tom.
We're going.
Okay. There might be someone too. Awesome. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for everyone for coming. This is awesome. This is my fullest class I've ever had. Yay! Maybe I'll get the parking spot. Just kidding. So these are the topics we're going to cover today. And if there's anything outside of this regarding, please let me know. But we're going to talk about the DocuSign versus Dotloop, what that looks like for you. Creating an opportunity, what compliance will now look like, and commissions, which is formerly known as screen sheets. It's going to be called commissions now. So to start off, I know some of you have your laptops, but does everyone in here know their Keller Williams user ID? Yes. Okay. Because if you don't, that's step one, and we can help you out there. And so just have to make that cover. We've had a lot of issues if you use Safari or Internet Explorer. So Google Chrome works best. So make sure you're able to use that. You can continue to use Safari and Internet Explorer, but if you ever have issues, try Google Chrome and then see if that helps. Okay. So first off with DocuSign versus Dotloop. Dotloop, starting on September 15th, you'll no longer be able to create new loops. However, if you have loops created, you can still access them, put files in them, do everything you need to do in them. You just can't create anything new. So if you have anything coming up and you still want to run side by side and you already know, go ahead and create a loop if you want to be safe. Us as a market center, we're going to start on September 15th doing compliance in Command. We know there will be some people still wanting to do compliance in Dotloop. However, we're trying to push everybody, migrate them over to one, and then probably by the beginning of October, we'll no longer be doing compliance in Dotloop. So the quicker you can transition over, the better. So just keep that in mind. Some of people have asked me about purchasing Dotloop instead because they don't want to change. They don't want to make a change. I'm just going to say Keller Williams is not going to drop this on us without having it in place for us. So give it time, trust it. If you use it for 90 days and you decide, nope, don't like it, I want to go back to Dotloop, that's fine. You can purchase that on your own. It will integrate into Command, but I'm just not sure on how all of that will work. But basically, you'll have to be putting it in Dotloop, then pulling it back through just to then do compliance still in Command. So for your personal preference, not sure on pricing. I've been told like so many different amounts, I don't even know what's right. So you'll have to call and talk to Dotloop. But I would say whatever you do, talk with Dotloop. If they give you a price, get it in writing. Because I've had multiple MCAs that they've talked to Dotloop and they've gotten different pricing that KWRI had no idea about. So put that in there for forewarning. I think that's it. We'll start and then if I think anything else up here. Okay, so agent.kw.com is your username or the login to get in here, and you'll put your KW username. So I'll log in.
Now when you get to the screen, how did you get to the screen?
You open up your internet browser and you put agent.kw.com. So you'll put your username information in, and then you'll sign in. So this is what your screen will look like on the agent side. So for those of you that have yet to create opportunities or start running your business side by side, you can go ahead and start creating opportunities. Opportunities are like loops. You're creating a transaction in within them. But you have to have your contacts in before you can create an opportunity. So if you haven't added your contact into Command yet, I would start working towards that. We do pay for a company, Scott Leroy, that helps our agents migrate their contacts from whatever CRM or maybe your phone into Command for you for free. That is a benefit that we have for that. And I can give you that email here in a little bit. So if you're needing to add your contacts in, right here, up over the left-hand side, the two people, this is where you would add your contacts. Again, all of the information you need is just their name for right now. It's the only thing in asterisk. You can fill everything else out later if you don't have it right away.
So what if I have my buyer now and I find out my seller later? I still add that in?
Correct, yes.
Okay. I just have to have one of them to start the other.
Correct.
Right.
So an opportunity, it's going to be a little different this time. If I have a buyer and I have a seller, you're creating different opportunities. So you can't work them out of the same loops, which I know is a little inconvenient for the time being. Hopefully they find a way that they can integrate. But if I have a listing and then I end up getting a buyer, and then I'm creating a separate opportunity. What that will look like is that you will have 2 opportunity IDs for that same transaction, which ultimately may mean that we have to cut 2 checks. I'm hoping not, but that may be what's going on for the time being. So right here, this is your opportunity. So you have your listings, your buyers, your leases. Between these are each phases. So there's a cultivate. So if you meet someone that says, hey, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 90 days or 6 months, you can put them here in the cultivate phase. So whenever you click on there, you'll have the whole list of everybody that is interested. And so that's kind of your phone call list of who you need to talk to follow up on. So then when we go back to the opportunity, then you have your appointments, you have your active, you have it under contract, and you have your closings. Over here on the right-hand side, I want to point out your GCI. So potential income means if all of my opportunities close that are listed, even if they're in the cultivate phase, that's what I potentially could make. However, as you move that opportunity farther down the pipeline, your probable income will increase because that means a higher probability of that transaction closing. So right now, of all the test ones I've entered, my potential income for GCI is $36,900. However, my probable income is $26,000. The reason it's so close is I have 3 in the under contract phase and 4 in the active phase. So it's
Slow down.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So is that confusing?
Yes.
Okay. Unless we may need to set up a one-on-one then. Okay. So as this moves forward, so that's where this will calculate. So your conversion rates, as you start entering more opportunities in, and as they move down the pipeline, your conversion rates will be more accurate, and this will give you a good idea of where you'll income.
Maybe it's confusing because this is like a snapshot of every day. So like with the active, it shows what you have active, and then under contract, that's why you have that total right there. Maybe that's why it might be a little bit confusing because it's like a picture of everything you have. And then you can go in and look at each one individually, which I'm sure she'll go over.
I can't even read the screen.
Okay,
That's another
that's
issue.
fine. And I'm recording this, so it'll be posted so you can rewatch the screen share video. Okay. So then same way with my buyers. So if I have my buyers entered, here's my potential income and my probable income for them. Also, they're working towards the conversion rates. As everyone starts using it, it will show conversion rates for all PWRI. So you compare your conversion rates with everybody else in the company. So it's a great teaching moment on if you're improving or areas of improvement. Also, your average time for how long that opportunity is in that phase. So if I'm creating an opportunity up here in the top right-hand corner, everything in asterisks will be required information. So my market center already populates. If I'm a team, then I'm able to click select team and click on my team here. It asks me what type of opportunity it is. So if it's a listing or a buyer or a landlord or tenant, I'll click here. Since I created the opportunity, I am the owner. However, they are working towards that with teams on who you can pick as the owner. But right now, whoever creates opportunity is the current owner. Then the client. So whenever I pick a client, I am pulling it out of my contacts. So if I decided to put Jen Gatman here, she's not in my contacts, so it's not going to pull up. So that's why you have to make sure at least their name is in there. So I'll pick this. The opportunity name, it defaults to last name dash listing by whatever the opportunity is. However, you need to put the property address just like we do in Doc. So whatever's closing on your closing docs, your HUD, whatever that property address is, that's what the opportunity should be listed. It's easier for you guys to track it that way. It's easier for us to track it that way whenever we get the commission check. So you're just going to have to change it that way.
So last name dash address.
No, you just want the property address. That's it. Just like you would title it in Dotloop.
Okay, so no last name.
Nope, no. It auto-populates the last name.
If it's, since we're having to do 2 separate ones,
Mm-hmm.
is there somewhere else where it'll automatically give it a listing or buyer tag, or should we just like name it?
It will keep it in that pipeline. So if you have the same address for 2 different opportunities, what you would distinguish it is at the top if you're saying if it's a listing or buy. Because the pipelines will never go together. They'll be kept
So
separate.
it's just like Dotloop where it'll say.
Correct,
Oh,
correct, yeah. Yeah. And if I then created this opportunity for a listing, but then I meant to do it as a buyer, I'm gonna have to recreate the opportunity. I can't transfer it over, unfortunately. So I'm gonna title this 1234 Main Street. Springfield, no, 65807.
So will you have to manually put, you know, if you have an amendment, you have to manually put it in listings and manually put it in buy?
Yes.
You do both sides?
Yes, right now there isn't a way for them to link, however, they are working towards that, so you don't have to put the same document and all these different opportunities, yeah. Yeah, but right now,
The
unfortunately.
DocuSign should allow it to transfer from one to the other, so it should be, it should.
Yeah, it will say in your DocuSign that you can just pull it through. Yeah, but you'll have to click add file for each of them, yeah. Okay. So if I had any custom tags, I could label it custom tags, so I've created a couple, so if they're in my sphere, or if they're in my BNI network, or maybe they're my top 100, I can add a custom tag that way. Again, it's only the stuff in asterisk that you have to fill out, so I don't know the estimated closing date. I'm just creating this and they're in the active phase maybe. My commission rate, I put that in as 3%. And then opportunity stage, you can click what stage you want it to go under. So for the phase, I have the options of putting it under the cultivate, so saying maybe it's a warm lead that they're looking to go put their house on the market, or if I'm about to schedule an appointment with them, or if it's about to be an active listing. The reason they only give you those 3 options is they want you to start putting it in ahead of time, so you're not putting it in right when it's going under contract. So, surprise, a lot of the time we don't get green sheets until after the property is under contract. Shocking, I know, really crazy. So this is Canopy's way of helping everybody kind of be a little bit more on top of their game. Not saying none of you do it, but those people that aren't here, that's who do it. So say I want them to be, they're ready to go active. So I can set what stage I want them in, and we'll go over that a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and create my opportunity. So it pops up all this information for me. So as we go through the transaction and I'm finding out more information, I can just click this pencil up here and I can edit that information and add it in. If I'm on a team, I can also assign who this transaction is going to. So that's a great option for you as well. And then I can create a seller worksheet as I know anything. I can add appointment dates, contract dates, close dates, all of that. So under this opportunity, there's all these tabs right here. So there's documents, offers, commissions, which is grayed out, and notes and timeline. So documents is where the compliance is going to be held in, right through here. And then offers, whenever you get your offers through here, and then notes. So really quick, when I'm in this opportunity, right now, under my active stage, since I said it was gonna go active, whenever it loads, I click here, and my 1234 Main Street's right here. If there's all these different stages within an opportunity, so some of these, if you click on them, they're already put in there. You can customize them or remove them as much as what your business. So some people, they just may want one stage under an active. They just want all their actives listed. They don't want to have to go through photography, MLS input, showing, staging, whatever. Maybe that's too many. They want to simplify it down. You can delete all of these over on the right-hand side. So if I don't want photography anymore whenever a listing goes active as a checklist item or a stage, I can just click and delete them.
So that's just for this opportunity, not for all.
For all opportunities.
It is for
Yes,
all.
for all. So you can customize this and add as many stages throughout when the listing goes active or as you want, or you can make it as simple as you want. However your business is ran, it's totally up to you. You have the option. So whenever a listing goes active, all of these stages pop up. So there's a showing stage, a staging stage, negotiations, and go live on Flex. Under each of these stages, you can then add checklists for them. So if the showing, when every time a listing goes under the showing stage, I can add a checklist that says schedule showing, and I can save it. And then I can add another one that says add to Rainmaker or Team Leader's calendar. And save it. So every time this happens and an opportunity goes under this specific, this checklist will pop up and you're able to check off these checklist items as you go along, and it will keep basically like Dolly kept an activity log. This is kind of how it will show.
So we changed this in one opportunity and it's the same.
It's the same for all. Yep. So those of you that have awesome checklists, this is where you would put them in. So then whenever, so say my active listing then moves to the staging, I can just drag and drop and put it here. And then it's now in the staging phase for me. Or I can move it to negotiations.
What was
Or,
it?
or if they decide that they don't want to go active anymore, I can move them back. And they said, I want to take it off the market. I can move it back to whatever stage I want. So say I wanted to put it in the cultivate, so I can drag and drop and it will go over there. So then now it will lie in the cultivate for me. Is that making sense?
But so you move from what they're telling me, a loop or
An opportunity, yes,
Opportunity.
yes.
And but so, hold on. I'm lost, so, but what page are you on that you would actually drag those loops?
Whatever one I'm clicking on. So I'm on the active phase for, and these are all my opportunities I have listed. Now just drag and drop.
So basically, we could have like that active you had staging, where you said, so basically we could have like one stage, and then we could have the whole checklist.
Correct, you could.
And that way,
Yeah.
instead of having all these, just have
Yeah, and if you only wanted one stage, you just go up here to edit stages and you can just delete all of them. So if I want all of these to go away, I can just delete them and you can just put one checklist for every time it goes
that
out.
way, listing, checklist,
Yep.
under contract.
Hey guys. Trying to list, you guys first, second.
I have an active listing.
Okay,
That's my number contract.
okay.
How do I do that?
So yeah, so say, let me go back to it. And it's ready to go on under contract. There's two things. It's kind of double-handed. So you'll be able to drag and drop it and move it to the under contract. So you just grab it and you take it and you put it right here under contract. And once it lights up blue, you know it's going. Then you click it and there it lies. So you just drag and drop. However, just because it goes under contract, it still means you have to enter an offer into command for it. So say on this one, we're ready to go under contract. I'll click on this opportunity. It'll pull up my commissions tab up here on the top right will still be grayed out because I have not entered an offer. And what that means is eventually with artificial intelligence, it will be able to read your offers and give you a great comparison of, okay, this is what all the offers say and this is how they differ. And then, oh my gosh, this is slow. Also, it then will tell you whenever you're ready to start submitting an offer, if these three things from technology and what it's read from others will be more likely to accept your offer in this way if you add these things in.
From what offers? KW offers or?
Whatever offers you're getting on your property. Yeah. Okay, so here is, so say I received an offer on this property, I would just click offers and all I have to do is enter in the offer information. So say I was, this is the Gatton offer. You're welcome, Jim. I can put when this was offered and when they said that they wanted to close. So I just click here and say they wanted a September 19th closing. It would then ask me who's the buyer. And then, so that's all the information that's required. I can enter in if they're pre-approved or pre-qualified. So I'll say they're pre-approved. And who was the agent on the other side of the transaction. So then it's going to ask me what kind of offer this is. How much is financing? How much is cash? So let's say Jim's going to give me cash, all cash.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really awesome. She's really awesome. And then I can enter in if there's any earnest amount, if there's an option fee for termination, seller cost, any of it. So if there's any concessions, and then I'll save this offer. As soon as I have an offer listed and say I love her offer and I want it to accept it, it will say my offer's been accepted. And then my commissions tab will now be ungraded to where I can enter in for my green sheet. So this is what will happen. And this is how you can start entering your green sheet information in. Yes.
So if we have a property we got on referral from someone, is that where that our 25 or 30% or whatever that
Yes.
goes in?
Well, yeah, and right here on the green sheet is where you'll put it in. So this is your green sheet. So right now it says 200,000 is the sales price at 3% commission, and your commission would be $6,000. So this is pulling from the information you already entered. So right down here, it's gonna say, since I'm the only agent listed, I'm getting all 6,000 here. However, if I was going to say Amy was on the other side of the transaction, down here at the bottom, it will give me, so since I put in I'm only getting 4,500 and it says unable to submit because not all the money's paid out, the very bottom an add agent button will appear and I can search for that agent to put it into.
Even if it's not KW agent?
Correct. Well, right here, this one is just if they're KW. So say you and I were on a green sheet together and we were splitting it, I will show you how to do referral.
It's not for the agent on the other side, it's like if you're on a team.
Correct, correct, yes.
What about a referral coming in? What do you do about that?
Yeah, let me show you. So since I've added Amy to the transaction, I'm gonna say she's gonna get $1,500. And then therefore it will say that all the money has been calculated for, and then I'm able to submit my green sheet if everything looks right. However, I know a lot of you have transaction fees that you do, or referrals. So down here at the bottom, there's an add item button. By clicking here, you have the option of doing your bonus, which would be your transaction fee. We don't do concessions here. If you had a deduction, say you wanted money to go to your office bill, that's where you put money here. We don't do inside referrals here because we just give them columns, and then an outside referral. So this is where you would put your referral stuff. So say I was going to give someone a 25% referral fee, this is where it would go. So right now, anytime you do an outside referral, we require a W-9. You're also supposed to enter on here. It's required that you have to enter their tax ID number and their information. It's going to be a little painful at first. However, what they're working towards is they will, hopefully in the near future, they'll give you a drop-down option. So anybody that we've paid out before on a referral basis, you'll be able to click them in a drop-down option to select, and all their information will populate it for you. So that will be super beneficial. So I'll fill out all this information and then I'll add it in, and then that will save for my referral fee. Did that answer your question, Ben? Or if it was just a referral coming in?
Sorry.
If it's just a referral coming in, then you would have to create an opportunity.
Yeah, that's where I was wondering.
Yeah, just for that. Yes, Sam?
What about like the KW, capping and so?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so all of this information has been entered in, and right here is showing, okay, for the associate royalty, right here is your real time, how much you paid into your company dollar and royalty. So as you're closing out, you don't have to wait till the end of the month after we transmitted to say, hey, how much do I still have to pay in? I don't know, or whenever your reports get updated, you'll be able to see in real time. Right over here to the right-hand side, it provides a little summary. So it's saying out of the $6,000 commission, $360 going to royalty, company dollar payment in is $1,800. Rachel's getting $2,880, Amy's getting $960. So your total amount you're paying to the office is $2,100, which is royalty and company dollar combined. So I'll give you a nice little snapshot right here.
And it'll automatically roll over once we cap.
Correct. So all of your information that has been tracked into our system, it talks with that system called Winmore, and it pulls all that information in. So whenever you cap, you can see how close you are to capping.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Is there a place outside of an opportunity, like on a dashboard somewhere you can see your cap information?
Let's see. That's a great question. If not, we can submit an idea for it.
We can still see if we go to my KW, don't we, go into the.
Correct, but right now in my KW, it's not updated in real time.
Right.
So it's only updated after we transmit, which will probably be about 5-6 days afterwards, that KWI gets all the information to go through.
But you could customize your dashboard to have that on.
Yeah,
Your
so
main
that's a great idea, Michelle. What I would do, and for anybody that has, so Command is 100% customizable to all of our agents. If we don't like something, we can tell them and they will fix it. Or if we want something, we can tell them and they will add it. So if you go to ideas.kw.com, you can see all of the ideas that are already submitted. Ideas. So some of your ideas may already be on there, and you can vote for them. How it works at KWRI is they have one person, their job is to go into each of these categories, whether it be command, contact, opportunities, anything. The top voted idea, they print them off every morning, they take them to the engineers, and they say, okay, today is your one thing. This is what the agents want, this is what we're going to implement today. So if there's something that our market center is super passionate about, we can send it around and say, hey, everyone vote for this, push it to the top, and then our idea will get implemented. So no, that's a great idea. Put that on your dashboard. Yeah, that'd be great if they could just put it right when you log in your homepage, right through here.
Well, I'm wondering if it's already an option for us to add it to our, because we can customize that, dashboard. We can move things around and make that how we want.
Yeah, I just don't know if we can get
That's
that,
an option.
if that's an option right there for there. Because right now, they have your database health score, maybe. So right now, commissions tab is not able to submit, so you still have to create your commissions through MyKW or .loop to submit your green sheet through. They're hoping by the end of the middle of September, or if not before, that the commissions tab will be live and you can start submitting your green sheet through. Yes, Shelby?
At the top of the green sheet page, what was that? There was like a little section with little bubbles checked or circles, bubbles, whatever. Oh, what's full payment or multiple payments? What does that mean?
If they're gonna pay in multiple payments through it. I'm not sure, to be honest. It won't even let me click on it.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
I would say that would have more to do with the lease, where you're getting part of it up front,
Sure.
part of it in later on down the road.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And then if I ever, for some reason, want to adjust, if I'm sharing half a unit with somebody, I can click here. That allows me to give a unit to somebody. If you split units that way. And down here for these deductions, these are the Keller Williams International deductions. We don't do E&O. So some market centers, they pay out per transaction for E&O. That's just included in your agent billing, so you'll never have to use that. KW Cares, KW Kids, Cannon Bolt is all right here. So where on the green sheet, you had to be required to enter it. You don't have to enter anything here. It's not requiring you, but here they are right here. Yeah.
So like we do Springfield cares,
Mhm.
would that be
So you're gonna have to do,
the added?
yeah, so if
Okay,
you're doing
add item.
the Springfield Cares section, you would do the add item and then go to deduction and then type in Springfield Cares. Yeah. So sometimes when you get paid on commission, you're getting paid maybe a flat fee and you don't know what that percentage is. You can just type it in over here at the top. So if I'm getting paid a flat fee of $10,000, I can type it here and it will calculate my commission percentage for me on the side. Or if I know I'm getting 2.76 and I don't know what that amount is, or you don't want to calculate it, you just put 2.76 in and it'll automatically calculate that commission for you. So either or, whatever you prefer.
And if we want to have them withhold as far as put forward bold or something like that, that would be that add item, you just type it in.
Yes, you would type it in because it's a bold for you. So bold here is for bold KWRI, but you would just go to add item, then you would go to deduction. And right below there is a description. So you could say to put for family reunion or for bold or whatever you prefer. Now, right here, even if you put it for deduction and you're gonna pay to the market center, it's still gonna ask you to type in your tax ID number. Yeah, so I asked a couple of other MCAs what they were going to do in the meantime until the drop-down button was allowed, and they told them that if it's for deduction for the market center, as long as they put it in a good description, they're gonna allow them to put in 9 zeros, and it would be fine. So I can give you our tax ID number, but I know a lot of you won't use it anyway, so. Yeah, but sometimes whenever you start entering a lot of times in Google Chrome, it'll autofill. But you can just put 00000 and that's fine.
But that's the office ID.
That's correct,
Or one
yeah,
number.
for deduction. Now, if it is an outside referral, we need that tax ID number. So, but if it's a deduction to the market center and your description is, you know, Stephen Shelley for bold, and you want to put side, that's fine too. Yeah, no problem. Questions on the commissions? A lot to take in, I know. Okay, so I don't have a definite date for when green sheets will be going away. They turned it on and then they took it away because they weren't happy with it yet. So as soon as we find out that it's going live, then you'll be able to submit them. But I would say any transactions you have right now going, go ahead, start putting them into command. If you have offers, start creating your green sheets because you can enter all the information in. The button just won't let you submit. So that way you can make sure that it's matching up with what your green sheet's creating, and we're able to answer any questions you may have along the way.
So keep doing the green sheet and not loop right now.
Correct. Keep doing the green sheet and .loop, And then, let's just say, what if after September 15th or whenever you're not able to click submit green sheet through Dotloop? Does everyone know how to get to green sheet through the back way? Through your MyKW? Okay. No? Okay. So if you go to your mykw.kw.com page, takes you there. So you would go to your mykw.kw.com page, type in your information. This way it's not as friendly because Dotloop obviously auto-fills all that for you, which is awesome. Technology, then you'll click green sheet. And then it'll open up a new page, and this is how you would then create your green sheet if you're not able to go through it through Dotloop.
So if we have a closing, say we have a closing on September 15th.
Yeah. So if you have a closing at September 15th, your loops are still good. So any loops that you've created before then, you can still get into.
Everybody hear that real quick? Everybody hear Rachel?
Yeah. So you'll just go ahead and you'll still be able to
Just
use
get
it.
it through
Yeah, you'll just still do it through Dotloop. So, yeah, you'll still have access to it. You just can't create any new loops. Yeah. Okay. So, does anyone have any final questions on commissions, and then we'll switch to compliance? No? Okay. Great. So, I'm in this opportunity. So, this is my homepage whenever I've created it. I click on documents. This is where all of compliance will lie. So over on the left-hand side, you'll see that since this is a listing, here's the listing docs for, and this is my checklist for when a property is listed, whenever it goes under contract, and whenever it's closed. I'm only able to add folders and files in these 3 sections for things that are for compliance only. If you have your own team checklist, if you like to save all of your emails after an end of transaction, whatever you like to do, over here on the left-hand side is custom folders, and you can create your own custom folders and upload all those documents into. Right now, however, the only kind of documents you can upload in here is PDFs. So if for some reason you like to upload JPEGs, PNGs, whatever it may be, submit an idea and let's get it pushed through. Because I'm sure multiple people do the same thing.
Did you say you can only upload PDFs?
Only upload PDFs of these, yeah. So if you like to save your emails and you save it as PDF, but any pictures you can't really put in there right now.
So those custom folders, we have individual documents, like 3 or 4 additional documents.
Yeah, you just click add a custom folder right here, and if I want to say team documents, create the folder, then it's right here, and then I can add whatever I want over through here. Just click add document, and I can add any document. I know some teams have contract close checklist or other agreements that they have signed outside of what is required from the market center. You can totally upload whatever you like through here. The reason that they have these custom folders is this doesn't need to be submitted for compliance, so you're able to kind of separate it so it doesn't get so messy. So if I'm my listing and I'm under contract, these are all of the documents that we have in here. Originally, when I made the checklist, I got too specific. And I said, like for amendments, I said, you know, the pool and hot tub disclosure, whatever. I started getting too specific. However, there's so many disclosures, so many amendments, so many counteroffers. I just created blank folders, or placeholders, I should say, that say amendment 1, disclosure 2, counteroffer 2, counteroffer 3. And you can upload whatever disclosure or amendment you have into these folders. That's fine. The ones at the top, I have required. So your MLS data input, your seller's disclosure. I worked with Jim and Don and we established what is required, what would be conditionally required, like a lead-based paint. Or if you had a government loan writer, that would be conditionally required. So here's all of those in there for you. With this transition, we are switching over to mainly MAR forms. Don and Jim are beginning to teach on those, I believe today. Is that when you're starting to start?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay. So originally you had your employment agreement in a GSPR form, and then you had your designated agent form that had, you know, their name if you're a designated agent or transaction brokerage. those two forms are going away and they're gonna be replaced with the MAR form. So the MAR employment agreement covers basically those 2 pages in one document. So if you don't know anything about those forms, please come to Jim and Don's class so we can get up to date on those. Do you have any plug on that?
They're really not that much different, so don't be scared of them, but yeah, come to training if you can. But if you got questions, just come.
And the reason we're transitioning to more of this is we have a lot of agents who are outside of Springfield that they use more MAR forms, and it's just getting very confusing. And so if we can just be one company, one language on these, it really just kind of makes it seamless for that. Also, we are going to start refining the measurement disclaimer. I know that's happening at a lot of other brokerages. It's just to keep it even, we're just going to start requiring the measurement disclaimer as well.
And that class is at 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Correct.
Awesome. So,
And bring your lunch, because I'm not cooking.
yeah. So if I am wanting to add a document, so right here the Start Transaction button is live. You all should have access to your DocuSign able to create the accounts. Did anyone have any issues not being able to create a DocuSign account? Yes, Corey. What was your issue?
It won't let, I'm in Google Chrome. Go into.
Did you take the one that the pop-up blocker? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't show me it's blocking
Okay,
pop-ups.
okay.
It's just not.
Okay, we'll look at it afterwards. So what will happen is you have DocuSign access. If you haven't created it, what you'll do is you'll go to your name at the top. You'll click your settings, and I posted a video about it. And through there, you'll be able to connect your DocuSign account. You click connect, you enter in your KW email. That way it associates you with KW, so if you use a different email, make sure you use your KW one. You'll be able to create it, you'll get a confirmation email. You'll use that to click to verify, and then you'll be able to connect to your account. If you're an admin, I would suggest going ahead and using your Rainmakers information to get them set up right now. I'm not sure how the transition is going to be with that. So like how can you assign signature blocks and who can sign, I can select who can sign. So right now we're just working on getting our producing agents set up, and then our next step will be to add them to our document. So right here you can see my DocuSign account is connected. I'm also going to show you in a quick snapshot of my compliance checklist that I've created. So this is what will be showing whenever you're in a listing. So everything that's listed under contract or close, I put all of these placeholders in for you to upload those documents in, and if they're required, conditionally required, or optional. So for instance, on the closed listing, you may see that the final walkthrough placeholder there is optional. Some teams, they like to have the signed copy of the buyer's final walkthrough in their form. If you do, awesome, here it is. If you have anything that you like to see on your side that's not listed, please let me know and I can add it. It's not a problem. That way it's optional and anyone can add it if they want to start using it. So all of the checklists are listed as you go through those transactions. So you can see I have a lot of counter offer 1, 2, 3. I only added up to 3 counter offers, and then I put a final counter offer. That because final counter offer is the only one that has to be submitted for compliance review. But obviously you like to have all the other counter offers as you go along. If for some instance you're in one opportunity and it goes up to 10 counter offers, just let me know and I can add. Crazy. You never know. Why are there 27 options to add agents for a green sheet? That blows my mind too. If you need specific new placeholders, please let me know and I can go in and add them to that specific opportunity if you need to. I'm able to add whatever you guys need. Or you can combine the documents if you need and put them all in counter offer 3 and only put the final counter offer for review, whatever you prefer. So here's my checklist. Also the buyer one, they've now added for the consultation. So originally they only gave us under contract and close. They're going to move the consultation to the far left-hand side where it should go when you first get the consultation. But again, if there's any documents that you normally see or placeholders or whatever you guys want, please let me know. But they're pretty like disclosure 1, disclosure 2, disclosure 3, amendment 1, 2, 3, 4, counter offer 1, 2, 3. Then we also have referral agreement and W-9 in there for you. Okay. So whenever I'm in my opportunity and I'm ready to start doing my documents, whenever it loads. Okay, and I click on my opportunity and I click documents up here. There's a button here that says start transaction. This will then take me to my DocuSign portal. So how DocuSign is working is once you click start transaction, it will take you to a separate web page for that. DocuSign is just a platform that has all of our contract docs in there and they get signatures. And then you're gonna pull it back into Command for compliance. So it's just like a plug-in, whatever you want to use, they use for that. So it'll take you to that, which, I don't know why it's not loading. We'll go here. And in DocuSign, they're now called rooms instead of loops. Little interesting. So this is what it would look like whenever you pull it in. None of our forms are loaded in there yet. So when you get to DocuSign and you're ready to pull the forms, they're not available. Don't freak out, DocuSign has to upload them. DocuSign had to get permission from MAR to upload their forms. So we weren't breaking any copyright laws or anything like that of us uploading them. So in there, you'll be able to see all of our folders. Where are they? So similar to Dotloop, how you had your templates, there will be templates in here for you as well. So here I have folders already created. So if you're doing a buyer for residential real estate, GSPR forms, listing for residential real estate, you'll be able to click on these, and then all of those forms will be there for you. I just can't upload them yet. So we'll have, whenever you create a loop and all those forms get populated for a buyer, all of those forms will be right there for you to get signatures. What's different from DocuSign versus Dotloop is Dotloop, if you had a husband and wife on a transaction, you had to have a separate email for them. So sometimes married couples only worked out of one email and then someone had to go to create another email just to sign documents. Through DocuSign, you don't have to. You can use one email. So how you assign the signatures are, if Jen and I were on a transaction together, Amy would give me a code that said, hey Rachel, your special signing code is 111, and Jen's special signing code is 112. So whenever I go to get this email, I put in my special code, and it will take me to all the special placeholders that I specifically need to sign because I put that code in, assigned to those blocks. Same way with Jen. Jen would put her code in, all of those blocks that she needed to sign would pop up for her as well. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay, I saw you raising your hand.
Thumbs up. That's a good idea.
Yeah, Amy.
So the other day you said we assign the code.
Mm-hmm.
What if we accidentally reassign the same code to somebody else in another transaction?
So whenever you send them,
Documenting our code.
yeah, so whenever you send some documents over, it's going to be called an envelope. So they'll get an email and say, your envelope with documents are here. And then that's where you'll put the code in. I'm not sure.
I'm guessing it's specific.
I would say
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
feel like you try to reassign the same, probably.
Well, I think that you can even use the same code in each loop because it'll be specific.
I think that's correct.
Specific to the envelope of forms that you sent.
Yep.
Let me find out for sure, but I would agree. I think it would be whatever documents you sent to them, that code would be assigned to them, and if you assign it to another form, it would. I don't think it would.
It wouldn't work because, what if I did 1, 2, 3, 4 and then Don did 1, 2, 3, 4 for a totally different client?
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna let those overlap.
And whenever you send those over, and I assign the codes, say I signed it to Jen, then it's gonna give you a message box and say, here, put a message in here. Don't put the code in that message. Because whenever you put the code in that message and you receive that email, you have to put the code in before you can receive that message. Very confusing. So whenever you send them the code, you're gonna have to send it in like a separate email or text or a phone call and say, hey, I'm about to send over a copy of documents for you to sign. These are the specific codes needed for this transaction.
And we only have to do that if we've got two going to the same.
Correct. Two going to the same email. Yeah. Also with DocuSign, I'm fairly certain it does not timestamp and date it like Dotloop does whenever someone signs. So keep that in mind whenever your clients are signing those documents, you still have to fill out that date box next to it. So whenever they sign it, it's just gonna say their signature here, DocuSign verified, but it won't add the date to it.
So when we met, Cory mentioned like being able to maybe put the timestamp for when they got their.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that yet. So there may be an option that whenever they sign, they're able to drag. Do you guys know the answer?
Once a document is signed, it sends you a certificate of completion with the date signed.
So
I don't know
how
that
do you
it'll
want
file
that?
with compliance.
If they send, that's not gonna be on the document, so they'll have to then upload it into the loop, or the room.
The tough part of that is deadlines, because it's great that I know that your contract is complete, but we got a deadline to get something done between now and the contract is complete. I don't know that that signature was at the right time. And I think actually on the signatures, because there's other firms that are using DocuSign, unless ours is different. I believe all of your signatures actually have time and date stamp. I don't know that your initial blocks do. So
Okay.
there may be a situation where you may need to be putting signature blocks where you would normally initial, just so that
Gotcha.
that
Okay.
time and date's done. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure signature blocks actually have the time and date on
And I
them.
think Tori mentioned that she believes that once they sign, you're able to click the time and date, and you can drag it and put it next to the signature potentially. So we're just gonna have to explore that. But just keep that in mind that it may not be the same as Dotloop whenever you're completing contracts. It does? Okay, perfect.
Sorry, we're kind of.
No,
learning.
no, it does what? It
It
does,
has a time date.
okay, perfect, okay.
Signature on the initial
On the
form.
On the signature? Okay, good, good, awesome. So then if I am ready to add a document over in my opportunity, I have the option of uploading it from my computer or uploading it from Dotloop. So if I get the signatures and I'm ready just to upload the form from DocuSign, I just click add file here. Now since, I don't know where that's at. Why is it not working? It should give you the option whenever you're, why is this not loading? I must have a pop-up blocker or something. Whenever you're adding a file, it should give you an option that you're able to upload from your computer or upload from DocuSign. Which I'm not sure why that's not letting me do that.
I don't know if you're allowed to use it just yet.
DocuSign.
Did they say something last Thursday about just setting up the account?
Yeah, it's just setting up the account, the files aren't in there, so maybe that's why, but,
Mine shows if I go on there,
Oh, it
it
does?
says manual or DocuSign.
oh, perfect, okay, well, maybe it's just my account then. So yeah, so you have the option here from your computer or from DocuSign. DocuSign does have a document splitter in it, which is awesome. So if I'm uploading, or same process, I would take all the contracts, scan it through on the printer down there, upload it into DocuSign, I can split the documents out, label it correctly, and then I just click add a file and add that file. So right now in Dotloop, you're able to add like all of them in there. You can't with DocuSign right now. You're only able to add one file at a time, which is kind of a little, but hopefully they're working on that. So, yeah.
Just to clarify on that, because I did try to put a current transaction in,
Okay.
and I was like downloading a document, uploading it, download, upload, and I'm over, so I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a concise way for us to do like this loop?
Yeah, they're working towards uploading like multiple documents at the same time.
Okay.
They just have to create it so since they've created a system where you have placeholders, they're gonna have to make sure that those names match up. And so that's what they're working on, making sure that they can match up appropriately. Because Dotloop is just like just throw it in there kind of thing, and this has strategic placeholders of each document. So hopefully.
But also there's going to be a holder through DocuSign, right? So whenever you go to upload a document through command, when you press upload, it's going to give you either from your browser or
Yeah.
from DocuSign. So
Yeah.
it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, but she was saying multiple documents, so you don't have to go add file from DocuSign, pull over, add file, DocuSign. So right now, that's what you have to do, but they're working towards mass uploading that way. So let's look what compliance looks like. So if I'm gonna add a file, oh, yeah, sorry, Tony.
An app for this, like there is with Dotloop?
There is a DocuSign app. Okay. Yep, there is a DocuSign app that you can download. Okay, great question. So let's just say I'm gonna add let's say I'm just gonna add whatever this is. Like nice paint addendum, sure, why not? And I'm ready to submit it. So I've uploaded it here. And I'm gonna assign it to that file. So right now I can see that I have a document in here. Whenever I'm ready to submit to my Market Center for compliance, I click here. I can change this document as many times as I want before I submit it to compliance. But once I submit it to compliance, you can't change that document in that specific placeholder because it's then submitted to us to review. So that by changing it, if you had the ability to, you could send a document and change it before we even reviewed it, and then we could approve it and it would be correct. So if I have all my documents in here that I want to upload, I can just hit submit to my Market Center. It says, are you sure you want to submit it? And I say yes. So then right here, it's grayed out because I've submitted something and the Market Center has not responded, or compliance people have not responded. So what myself and the compliance people will do, because we're still going to use our third-party compliance company to help review all these folders. I would go to my side, which is WinMore is what we use, now CloudMore, and compliance requests up here. You can see I click on it, and I have 4 compliance requests. So these are all the ones that have been submitted. So what I would do is I click review, and I'm able to review all documents submitted. So for instance, oh wait, this isn't filled out. I can add, where is my, I'm missing my reviewer. Let's try something else. And now my computer's frozen. Really quick, while we're frozen on the screen, I can see all of these files. So this specific opportunity that was submitted, I can see where you're at in each of these transactions. So right now I can see that they've only submitted their listing docs. They haven't submitted any under contract docs or closing docs. So we can hopefully stay on top of it as we go through. So when I'm reviewing, and I'm reviewing all docs, oh, here it is, it's just hidden. So I have this button up here that says approve or reject. If I'm going to reject a document, I can add a specific remark. So in Dotloop, you had the message box over in the top right-hand corner that basically said, Mo broker, you didn't get an initial here, line 147 of contract, blah, blah, blah. You had to match each of those corrections to that specific document. Here, whenever I go and review a document, and you go through and scroll each document, it will tell you what that specific document will need, or if it's approved. Right.
Is that as you open it, it'll like say, you don't have to go back and forth?
Yeah, if it would let me, sorry, it's having malfunctions right now. Okay, so right here, so I rejected this MLS data input. So you can see it's rejected, there's a little message. If I click here, I say need bolded items to be completed, or I could say line 147 needed something. Is that what you're asking? I can,
Yeah, so you don't have to like
match that message, all that paragraph to each specific document. It will be what that specific document needs.
You can just hover over that, right?
Yeah, you don't have to click on it. Yeah,
open
you
or
just hover
anything.
over it and it'll tell you
Okay.
what that. That answer that, Sabrina?
Yeah, it just
Okay.
makes it easier, right?
Yes, it does.
Everything was all in a line, you had to like take a picture of it or something.
Exactly, exactly. You couldn't see and you had to match it up. So as you go through, you're able to see. So then you would get rejected. Or if I was looking at it on my side. So whenever you reject it, then I would then send it back to you and then you have resubmitted. If it's approved, it would be green. If you haven't done anything with it, it'd be gray and it'd say open, and nothing's been submitted through here. Now, if you go back through and update a document after I maybe approved it or you resubmitted it, it will give you a change. It will say change beside it, so we know that something has happened to that document that was originally said. Before maybe you changed it, you hadn't resubmitted it, we can see, oh, look, it's changed. You'll actually have a history log at the bottom that will show you every document that had originally been in that placeholder. So if I've uploaded 5 different contracts, it will show me each different contract since I've uploaded that same document. Yes.
Are you doing our compliance now instead of going away?
No, our compliance company is. So they have access to this. So again, if you guys ever have any issues with compliance, please let us know. You know, for some reason they're approving a form but then rejecting it later, or it's very inconsistent, let us know, because we don't know until you tell us. And that could just be, you know, with the difference with the GSPR and MAR forms, we've had a lot of issues with that, where Jen's had to write specific messages saying it's okay. So just let us know. Catch up.
So So when you're in the section where you get the little message boxes and it's the individual documents, is that where you fix it and then it will fix it in the regular file, or?
So since I rejected it, you would just click this 3 dots again to upload. So you can click replace or version history. So if I wanted to get a version history, it would show me that's the only one in there. But if there was more, then I can just click replace and I can just upload the new file. So if you were missing a signature and you got the signature again, you can just
So you basically would go back in a DocuSign, fix the document in there, and then re-upload it there.
Yes.
So quick question.
Uh-huh.
Let's say, we submitted our files to you and you're like, oh, I didn't upload the signed version. So I put the signed version of the measurement disclaimer. And then should I just create like a new document and then while it's still in compliance, then when it comes back rejected, just take out the old one and submit the new one?
You're not going to be able to add anything else because there's not a placeholder, if that makes sense. Because you're wanting it to go in that specific placeholder, so I guess you're just going to be very certain before you submit it, because we'll reject it and then you can re-upload it. Yeah.
Right, I'm just thinking sometimes compliance takes a few days, so then it gets buried in the emails assigned, I'm just thinking.
If that happens, then you can email it to me and I can create a specific placeholder, or you could upload it in one of those blanket ones that like say disclosure 1, disclosure 2, amendment 3, whatever, and then just submit it and put a message in there. Right now, they don't have a messaging service, like a chat box available, but they're working on that too.
So everything as far as corrections and editing has to be done in DocuSign. There's no editing capabilities. in
Correct,
Command.
yeah.
Okay.
Keller Williams didn't want to get into the DigiSign business right now.
But if I overlay that one that was rejected, I'm gonna be able to see the original one that was rejected as well as the new one in history. So it automatically archives.
Correct. By hitting replace. Yep. Please ask me questions or what questions you have. Because I know I say this multiple times a day, and so I want to make sure I'm able to answer any questions we're not seeing about more. Yeah, no, ask me.
So when you re-upload the new form in the little compliance message system, will it automatically put that form in your file? Or do you have to put it in both places? When you, like, we get a MLS data and it is missing something. We fix it in DocuSign, we re-upload it there. Do we have to put it somewhere else, or does that take care of?
Put it somewhere else. Like this will replace that previous version.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Not just in that.
Where else would it be?
In the main, yeah. In
Oh.
the main opportunity.
Oh, yes. This is all tied in with that.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this is this specific opportunity.
So there's no place.
I'm sorry.
We can only do one document at a time, right?
Right now you have to go to, like here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like we could click in and just.
No, not right now.
It doesn't have autofill.
And it doesn't have autofill right now. However, so you can't, a lot of agents, they don't want to write their license number 5 million times whenever they're writing contracts, so they have it auto-populated in templates for them. Jim Gatton had a great idea where, you want to explain your idea? I can, okay.
Well, my agents are spoiled, and so when stuff is filled out, they don't fill it out, and so then that makes extra work for me. So what I was gonna do is just put it on, the desktop as a PDF, so then we can just upload it in there, and then they just have to add signatures and everything else that is already pre-filled, is pre-filled, for right now.
What do we put on desktop?
Like on the contract, for instance, I have everything pre-filled except the client and the amounts and the concessions. I have where we're closing, I have the inspection time, I have like the appraisal stuff filled out, like 45 days, and then we even have stuff that I have the special agreements on page 7, I think it is, of the contract. So what I'm going to do is just have one that is blank that I have saved on his desktop, and then he can load it in there so that I know all those fields are completed, because I don't want us to be stuck with a 10-day inspection, if that's when we always do 15. And, just, it's gonna be easier for me.
You could also probably pay that in like a Google Drive.
Yeah.
So basically, there's no place to archive documents like document.
Technically, it is archiving by replacing it. It's archiving it away and you're putting the new document in. But since a lot of times in Dotloop, you'll add a contract, archive it, put the new contract in, it's the same thing, you're just putting it in that specific placeholder. But you'll be able to see a version history of what's been changed over time.
We will be able to see that.
Yes, yes, we'll be able to see, say you submitted a contract 8 times, we'll be able to see, okay, well, they resubmitted it and they forgot to do this, like what's missing, why are they not doing all the corrections? Yeah.
But you can clean it up, you can clean everything up in DocuSign before you upload it, so you can like get rid of crap that you don't need there.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. What other questions do you guys have? And yes, Connie?
With the DocuSign app, are they going to be able to also request signatures that way as well, or does it have to be done?
Request signatures like they can sign like through the app?
Right, can you send the documents to sign?
Yes.
through the DocuSign app? Okay.
In Dotloop, we were able to share with so many different people, so title company, et cetera. Can we do that through here?
That is a great question. I haven't explored that enough because I don't really have any documents in here.
I've received stuff from other agencies.
I think so. Oh, like share that opportunity.
Well, so like, gotcha. We'll store something in our Dotloop, and then we'll send it to the title company, and we'll send it to the buyer's lender, and then we have a record that we send it, you can see it there. So just for tracking purposes, like I can go in and I know Tish did what she was supposed to do because I can see that she sent it. So the title company says, I don't have it, well, that's their bad.
Yeah.
But do we have something like this?
You just add them as a recipient. Just add recipient on your list. On DocuSign, yeah.
But she's saying on a command where it's more of an activity log to see that all that's been done. I know that was brought up in one of my masterminds, but I didn't hear, I don't think you can right now. Yeah.
Because we're kind of being central, like,
Yeah.
we're one place where we have everything, not separate.
And the biggest thing, again, I know this is going to be a big transition for everybody, and it's going to be kind of painful at first because everybody has their system so refined. But again, we can work through the process. If there's anything you want, we can submit it. We can pass it out to vote if everyone agrees with you on that. Yeah, we can create an idea, we all vote on it, and that's how we push it through. So the biggest thing is just getting through this transition, and we can just make it, there's never going to be an end point. Gary Keller said at Mega Camp, like there's never going to be a finish line. It's just going to be a constant journey, building this and making it as great as we can along the way. So any changes that you guys want to see, implement them on ideas.kw.com. That's what, I knew that was mentioned before, so it may already be an idea right now. Okay. Yeah.
So if we actually submit ideas at kw.com and we want to post it on Facebook.
You can share it. Yep. You can share it onto the internal page or wherever and say, hey, help me get this pushed through. Everyone go and vote. That's what they do on my MCA page all the time. They say, hey, I submitted this idea, push it through so we can get it voted on. I think that's what does. Yeah, she did create an idea for sure. So ideas.kw.com. Obviously, it's going to ask you for your KW username and ID because you're not just going to let anybody go on and vote on it. But here's all of the ideas. So campaigns have 99 ideas submitted. Compliance has 38. Consumer app has 81. Contacts has over 1,000 ideas submitted. So, so here's the hot ideas. So number of contacts selected. Can we show more than 50 contacts at a time? If you agree with it, you click vote and it's voted. And you're able to do it that way. Yeah. So you can just click whatever you want, see if that idea is already submitted, and then if not, then create it, for sure. Yes, Sabrina?
So do we have to put like multiple offers into this, all of them, or just the one that?
You don't have to put multiple offers in there.
For yourself.
Yeah, it is.
Is it really gonna help?
Whenever you put an offer in there, multiple, you can do a comparison. So eventually, I think they said by the end of next year, they want artificial intelligence to be able to read all 50 states contracts. Right now, I think it can do like 10 to 12, and it can read through those offers the same way. They want to, that way they can also see the data of the different offers submitted and why one was maybe accepted over the other. So maybe it was money versus the other, or maybe closing date, whatever. But you only have to put one in there.
Okay.
You don't
And then obviously, it's not going to auto-populate into this anything from our actual contracts.
Not as of right now.
Okay, but it may.
They may. They're looking at pulling all of that information out of your contract through artificial intelligence, be able to read it and pull it into your hand. That's the ultimate goal. So you don't have to spend time entering all of this.
Yeah, you just look at it and see if there's any mistakes.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the end goal. Yeah. And they said hopefully by the end of next year. Wow, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? This is, just bring them on. I'm here to answer them. I know this is a lot. So compliance done out of command. DocuSign is just a signature form library. That's it. All of it's through there.
Are y'all gonna do another one of these?
Yeah, so I believe I have at least a class every week I'm teaching in regards to something of this until end of September, and we'll keep doing it. So once a week, we'll definitely be doing it. Yeah, Chelsea.
So we don't have to access DocuSign through this. It can be, we just have a regular account like we do with Outlook. We just go like whatever it is.
Yeah, so
DocuSign.com.
in your settings, you'll be able to, yeah, you can just log in with the user email that you submitted.
We don't have like so here. It can be like separate.
Yeah,
tabs.
and for those of you that use TP, they're working on getting a TP as access for those specific files. Yeah, you just go to your settings and you'll be able to click go to DocuSign, and it'll take you right there, or DocuSign.com, whatever you want. Yeah, okay. Sabrina.
So if I need to write a contract today, should I start using this today or?
So yeah, so Command is fully functional for anybody that has a team of 7 or less. Like you're able to do it. What I would recommend, running it side by side until dot goes away and you can't create new loops. Run it side by side. So one, you're safeguarding yourself if anything happens. But so you get more familiar with it. But we're looking at, I talked to the compliance person, September 15th, once it stops, we're going to start doing, okay, let's all compliance through Command now. Let's do it. Of course, there's going to be some
And you
documents
won't be able to use .loop to write a contract
unless the loop's already created. So,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, so if the loop's already created, you can work out of it however long. They're talking about pulling all of your loops into Command. I haven't heard anything on that yet of when they project it, but that's the ultimate goal. So then you don't have to access .loop anymore for those old files. Because they just want to get as much into our platform as we can. Yeah, don't have to rely on someone else. But yeah, run them side by side. You can't, the only thing you can't do right now is submit a green sheet. You can do compliance out of it if you want, because our compliance company will be working on a both. We'll be working on a both probably until the end of October or the beginning of October, and then we're all out of Command. Yeah, so all out of .loop. Thank you. Sorry, too many words.
Is there like, I know how, is there going to be like a phone number or online? Like,
For support?
Yeah.
So if you're in your Command and there's any time that if you need help, you just hit this question mark up here. Post an idea. This is where you can post an idea. Chat with support. You're able to chat with support right here. Anything with DocuSign, there is DocuSign help numbers that you're able to call, kind of like how Dotloop have their own. And that's kind of your resources right now. There's not a specific number for support, but they're quickly to get back with you. If you ever have an issue with support, send them screenshots of what's going on. Same way if you're posting an idea and you want to post the idea, explain why you want that idea implemented. So then they can take it to the design team, and if they can figure out a better way, they ultimately don't want to say, well, I want this question mark right up here. And they'd be like, well, why do you want it here? Like, why do you want to be able to send it to lenders, title, like whatever. They want to know why. Help them get some more knowledge behind it, more informed decisions. Okay. Yes.
So regarding training,
Uh-huh.
are there any key trainings this week besides the noon and 3 o'clock on Thursday? Anything else?
So, no, what I would say, what you need to do, you need to understand, one, to log in Command if you haven't. You need to know how to create a contact and how to create an opportunity. If you can do those two things, I know we're training on Sketchhouse, I know we're training on Lead Accelerator. Those are great to know, but you need to understand contacts and opportunities so your business can still be running. If you don't know those two things, there is a lot of resources, like how-to videos. I am teaching this class, and I have a class next week, and Furthermore, if we need to do a Zoom session, I'm more than happy to set up a Zoom call one morning, one afternoon, and everybody can be a part of it. That's fine, and we can go through it again. Whatever you guys need, that's what we're here for.
Are those, this class that you're going to do week after week, will always be the same time and day, or?
Not same time and day, because there's a couple of, like, I have a short vacation and a training I have to go to, so they're kind of, but Nicole has the calendar almost done. It should be out today, so kind of planning it. And then you also need to know the MAR contracts. So if you don't know the MAR contracts with the new ones we're switching over, the measurement disclaimer, you need to definitely team up with our brokers and become best friends with them.
It's 3 next month.
Yeah, if you're not already best friends with them, yeah. So sure you call them. Yeah, Amy?
When, did you say September 15th that we can start doing compliance?
You can start doing compliance now if you want.
So it's connected
Yeah,
already?
yeah,
Okay.
they're just, the forms aren't in there, but I would say to pull them from, so start doing more, run them side by side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't like just do.
You can't just do command right now. I have another webinar, I believe next week, another live stream. I have to look at that on my calendar, kind of like how we've been going through them recently. Yeah, the MCA ones that I've been a participant on.
The goal for being able to switch over.
Correct. They want, the email I received from KWRI is end of August. They pushed it up. September 15th is the dot loop date. But they said right now, like, just worry about creating your account for the most part. If you know how to do an opportunity, if you know how to add a contact, and you can create your DocuSign account, you're ahead of the game. Then you're ready.
So if we're here,
Mm-hmm.
and if we get it,
Mm-hmm.
and if we can do those things, then we don't necessarily need to attend your following training sessions unless something changes. when you tell
Correct.
us.
So my next, let me see if I can see when that is. My next live stream is September 5th at 10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, but for, yeah. Okay, yeah. So my next one is that's when I'll find out more information on for the next step. But yeah, so Tori pointed out on KW Connect, there is prep to get paid. So they're going to be covering everything that we kind of just went through now. I would definitely pay close attention to KW Connect for the live stream schedules, because that's all of the information. You'll hear it when I hear it, kind of thing. But my next one is September 15th at 10, and that's hopefully September 5th at 10 a.m. Yes.
For the newer agents
Uh-huh.
especially, once you get with someone, make sure you've got all the required buyer's forms and all the required listing forms, make a desktop folder. And then you can just transfer those right into your documents.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, or you can, if they're already in Outlook and you want to start putting them through command, that's fine too. But yeah, just understanding, entering offers, understanding the commission tab, even though you can't submit it yet, understanding that. Yeah, it's not. And then if you guys need help uploading any contacts into your database, if you go to support at scottleroymarketing.com, they'll be able to help you. Yeah. Does anyone have any final questions? No? Okay. Thank you for spending your time with me. Let me know if you guys need anything else.